Hey, it's your boy Ron Big Black Garrett. Um, Started my first video since my wife was diagnosed with cancer. For most of you, you already know that she passed on and went on to be with Jesus Saturday. We memorialized her yesterday. Awesome job by our church, the Rock Family Worship Center, pastoral staff. For those that don't know, she had breast cancer in 2015, and the champion she is, beat it down. And we were blessed to have, now that I look back on it, we were blessed to have these other remaining years with her. But it came back in September. Actually, it came back before that. We just didn't know that. We found out when she went on a mission trip to Hong Kong, and there was a severe outbreak of bronchitis there. And so when she came back, we all thought that it was bronchitis. Looking back on it now, I can look back, and even as far back as July, the symptoms that were manifested later, I could actually remember now were already present. So you go through that thing of, what if I had noticed this, or what if I noticed that? That's just the enemy in your flesh trying to get you down and everything. So I just rebuke that right now. But so she went to the hospital, went to the doctor. They put her on antibiotics and all these things for what they thought was bronchitis. She wasn't getting any better. She was feeling worse and worse, getting real short of breath. Finally, one day she went to the emergency room, and because she was having a lot of trouble breathing. And then it was there, after they did some x-rays, that they found out that not only did she have the breast cancer again, but it had spread to her lungs. And from there, from September, every time she would go back to the doctor, it was getting worse and worse. And even after she started chemo, it went worse and worse. And ended up where we went into and a lot of people already knew that, but to just clear up everything that happened, she was starting chemo and immunotherapy, and I thought, was getting better. But now that I have the prism of time to look back and realize that she really wasn't. She was just getting worse. And we went for her next round of chemo last Thursday. And when we went, the doctors wanted to run some more tests and do some things. And since she was on oxygen, by then she was on oxygen. And once we got there, the doctor said, hey, let us just put her in the hospital. And she'll probably get out tomorrow or the next day, or she'll definitely be out probably by the end of the weekend. And so this was on Thursday. When we went in Thursday, finally got her into her room, I had went and ate dinner because I hadn't eaten all day. And she was fine. Everything was good. I went and ate dinner, and within an hour of me going to eat dinner, one of her best friends, Monica, called me, and her other friend, Patricia, they were up in the room, and Monica called me and said, hey, you need to come up here and speak to the nurse. So I came back, and the doctor caught me as I was getting ready to go into the room and said, are you her husband? I said, yes, I am. And yeah, he said that you need to consider end-of-life decisions. And from there, it just went downhill. She was struggling the rest of that night because the oxygen just wasn't penetrating her lungs and getting to her body. She woke up Friday and was fine, ate, and was fine pretty much the rest of that day. And then she slipped back again Friday night. And we were very hopeful when Saturday she woke up and she actually ate something. By then, my sister had driven in from Texas, and she knew that I would have told her to stay because I thought she was going to be fine. But she drove in and she surprised me, and it turned out to be a blessing because I needed that strength and support, and I didn't know I needed it. The Holy Spirit knew I would need it before what was about to come. Because again, we thought because she was up and she was ready to eat that she was going to be fine. And all along through this journey, since she was diagnosed, we were pretty much believing that she was going to have, we knew that it was a grim diagnosis, but we thought that at least from what we were being told that there was an opportunity for her to last a lot longer, at least past where our first grandchild was going to be born, you know. But, you know, that's neither here or there now, but that's why it was such a shock and a surprise and so fast when it happened. So from Thursday until the time she actually passed on Saturday, it was very fast. And I'll say that I want to thank Huntsville Hospital, and I want to thank my church family. I want to thank all of my friends and family for all the support that we've been given. Man, we're blessed. I know it's so hard for people to understand right now, and I've had so much time to just cry and try to process this thing. My beautiful daughters, you know, pray for them. They're struggling. My friends and family, her mother, and you know, I thank her daily, and I still thank her daily for the gift that her daughter has been to me. She changed my life, and but I just wanted to let everyone know what happened and why it was so quick, because so many people had those questions. And I don't ever want to leave anyone not knowing what was going on and what was happening. I know it's really nobody's business but ours, but we lived a life that proclaimed Jesus, and we wanted to make sure that we were an open book. And that's why I'm doing this right now. I want there to be no doubt that even up to the end, that my beautiful wife lived her life as a testament to Christ and what he can do in a life that submits their life under the authority of Jesus Christ. For those of you that didn't get a chance to get to her celebration of life, if you were there, you would know and you would understand. And if you ever met my wife in person, and just go and look at her her timeline. You can look on my timeline, my daughter's timeline, and see the testimonies of the young people, the men, the women, the youth whose lives she's changed. God used her to change. There are mothers now who have patterned their child rearing and their marriages after the way my wife behaved. Me, I'm a walking testament to her faithfulness and her grace and her mercy, and the how God used her to change my life. And thus, I wouldn't be the man that I am today if it wasn't for her strength and her grace and her mercy with me. Trust me, she needed a lot of grace and mercy. She needed a lot of strength from God to live daily with me. She's probably got 1,000,000 crowns just because she lived with me. And that was always a joke. I always knew she was a much better woman than I ever could be a man. But I wanted to make sure that this video didn't turn out to be another grief-stricken post. I wanted to make sure that you knew that God is watching you. And if there's anything I can tell you about my wife, she's watching us now. And she wants you to know that if you don't know Jesus, or if you know Jesus but you've backslidden, or if you know Jesus but you're not living your life out fully for him, you ought to take the time to do so, because you're not guaranteed another day on this earth. We've seen miracles since she's passed. We've seen things happen that are already glorifying God, and the best is yet to come. So I want to thank you. I know I speak for my wife when I tell you that I love you, and I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of what you're going to become in Jesus Christ if you allow him to. So keep praying for us. I love you. For all my keto folks, keep strong. I love you. God bless you. Peace.